Doing all right today?
Doing pretty good. How about you?
I think I'm going to make it. Enjoying this 80-degree weather in the middle of February.
That's true. That's just enough weather to make us all sick.
Yeah, because next week it's going to be cold again. Go figure.
Yes,
Hang in there, man. All right. I got good neighbors. I can't tell you his name, but he lives across this street. Not Thomas's street, but the other street. Now, back to the video. Oh, hey, Nomies. I'm back here in one of my favorite spots. Same place you left me in last week's video, right here in front of Pearl. I haven't moved. No, I'm kidding. I did get up and walk around a little bit, but not a whole lot. Only as much as I had to. Mainly because it suddenly turned to summer here in the south. Yeah, all that freezing weather just totally disappeared, and today I'm out here in kind of partly to mostly cloudy conditions. It's breezy. It is 77 degrees. Really, 77 degrees. And tomorrow, it's going to be 80. As we get through the weekend, it's going to cool back off a little bit. So they're saying that by next Monday and Tuesday, 4 or 5 days from now, we'll be back down to some more normal readings for February in South Arkansas, which is like daytime highs around 50 and nighttime lows of around 35, right just above freezing or so. All that doesn't matter. The weather's going to do what the weather's going to do. And if it wants to have summertime in the middle of February here, well, so be it. I'm going to take the most of it, right? And get out here and work on Pearl a little bit. And since the weather is nice, maybe focus on her exterior just a little bit today. Perhaps not completely, but some anyway. But first, let's do a little recap of where we are right now, okay? So, last week we got Pearl's engine to turn over again. Yes. What a beautiful sight and sound. So we know it'll do that. Now, where does that put us on the motor? Well, there's still a lot to be done before we can actually get her cranked up. We have to check out the entire fuel system, probably drop the tank and clean it, put new fuel lines in, get a new line from the fuel pump to the carburetor, because that doesn't exist anymore. Speaking of the carburetor, we have to finish setting it up. It still has a few attachments and adjustments to do. So we do that. We get fuel supplied to the carburetor. Then we still have to change out the thermostat, get the new hoses on, put the radiator back on, and get the cooling system all put back together to keep that engine cool while it's running. So there's that too. And I'm sure there'll be some other little minor adjustments and things that we'll have to do as well. And we still have to drain the transmission, change the fluid in the filter. Honestly, we can do that after the engine is running. We just want to do it before we start driving her around. And even with the engine running, we got a few other things we have to deal with before we drive her around any. Okay, so that's where the motor stands. Electrically, I think we're in pretty good shape. We've still got all the running lights and things like that, but that's way on down the road that we'll be dealing with them. The basic electrical system for the motor and the operating system seems to be pretty good. We do have to be sure that we're charging, that the alternator's working, that new voltage regulator is working okay. But aside from that, I think we're going to be in pretty good condition. I mentioned a few weeks ago that the decking in the overhead cab area is in horrible condition, and it all has to be replaced. Let me take a moment here and just show you how bad it is. In the words of a famous duck, that's despicable. It's all rotted out. This wood right there is actually wet, or it's actually leaked in. I gotta redo that plastic. But for now, I can't do much more harm than that. So, and what's really bad, this is the good side. No, really. Let's pan on around here. Go across the front. Here again, you can see the separation under that right front window. The corner is the only place it's actually fastened. And then as you come down this other side, this is the passenger side. Look at that. Not terrible that is. All the way back. It's just completely separated. This area right in here, I can literally put my hand outside. Just push all that down. Same thing here on the front. And here again, that's damp. I just hit my finger on a nail. Screw. But that's damp there from where it's still been leaking. And even across here, this area, as you can see, is really not fastened in place. It's just holding there. That corner falling down. And then back over here on, quote, the good side. Oh, look. I can see my grass out there. Nice. So nice. So there is a lot of work to be done here. And I will be honest with you, I'm not even sure how to start this project. I've got to replace all the woodwork, and there's actually 2 layers of wood that go here. You'll notice there's a layer, and then we have a frame here, and then there's another piece of plywood that goes on top of that, and there's insulation in between. So it's a nice thick insulated wall, because most of this is literally exposed to the outside. It is attached all around the edge to the cab over, which is fiberglass. It's all one piece fiberglass, which in turn is attached to the frame right up here. Here's what I want to ask you here and now. I need some input from some of you, perhaps carpenters, and certainly those of you who have done remodeling on RVs or any kind of similar type projects. Tell me what you think would be the best approach to replacing this. What are your ideas? What do you think? Because I need some input. I need to find a starting place, at least. So help me out on that. Can you comment below and let me know what you're thinking? And now, Ree is calling. So I'm going to talk to her. Hello? Alright, let me get this knocked out and I'll call you back. Alright, bye-bye. Okay, got that business taken care of. Now, back to this business. Where was I? Oh yeah, we were discussing you helping me with some ideas for getting this bottom level of the cab over area. Please, like I said, comment below. Let me know what you're thinking about that. Okay, good. I have done one thing here up front that I want to show you, and that concerns, let me see if I can spin the camera around and just show you this way. These front windows. I have actually put the glass back in on both of them. Now, it's just sitting there. It's not secured, it's not fastened. But as you can tell from this shot, these front windows are probably at about a 35 or 40 degree angle. So basically they're not going to go anywhere. You know, they're in there pretty firmly. Plus, you can see the shadow of the tarp that covers the top coming over them. That's going to hold them in place and hopefully help the water wash off of them, especially around the edges, so that they don't leak. If they do leak, I may have to come and put some tape around the edges or seal them in some way. Eventually, we'll have to come in here and put up wood framing so that I can actually attach the inner frames to hold them in place. But I'm not ready to do that yet because I got too much work to do on this wood deck, and I don't want to disturb it. So anyway, but I think that'll help on those front windows. The plastic tears off of them very quickly, and I think this will solve that problem. Now the window behind me is completely covered by the top tarp, so that's not a problem. The one across is about half covered. I need to put some more plastic on it because it is ripped up and ripped off completely, as are a couple of the other windows here. This is the left side, the kitchen window originally, and as you can see, the plastic on it has come completely loose and is now just falling down here on the inside. So oddly enough, the one behind it is still covered, so we don't have to mess with it. But the back window, which you really can't see because of the cardboard backing, is completely torn out too, and it has to be replaced. And the door, the poor door, is in terrible condition. I've got to get some plastic on it as well. Finally, here on the passenger side, the largest window is pretty well covered except for a corner right there. So I'm going to have to at least do a little patchwork on it, or maybe put another layer over. So this is what we're going to do next today. You have watched me put plastic on Pearl several times over the past few years, so I'm not going to make a big deal of it. We'll just kind of zip through it so I can prove that I did it, and then we'll move on from there, okay? Now let's see if we can do something about the door. Yeah. Why do I always pick windy days to do this? Never fails. Well, I don't know how long it's going to last, but at least for tonight and tomorrow, the door is covered. And so are most of the rest of the openings. Now, before I go today, I want to show you something. I mentioned that it's like 77 degrees today, and supposed to hit 80 tomorrow. Some really unusual warm weather here in the middle of February. Well, that has brought out the mosquitoes, and it's also brought out another insect that is the scourge of the South. Some of you may have never seen this bug before, so I thought I'd show it to you. It's right down here. All this dirt right here came up out of the ground because of these tiny critters. Look at that. These are South American fire ants. Well, not really. These are South Arkansas fire ants. They originally came from South America. Now, I've upset them a little bit by pulling up the top. But if I were to just do this, they go everywhere. And I've got to pull back because I don't want them getting on my camera. And they already got on my hand because I can feel a couple of bites burning. They are that quick. They can cover you before you know it. And it's so much fun when you're out mowing your yard or raking leaves, maybe something like that, and you put your foot in a mound that you can't see because if you got tall grass, it blends right in, and before you know it, your foot is on fire and covered with these tiny little rascals. And they are little. They're very, very tiny, but they pack a punch. They bite, they sting, they leave a blister. Some people are highly allergic to them. I'm not, but I still don't like them. They came out because the temperature got above 70 or 72 degrees. Next week, it's going to drop back below freezing. They'll go back underground, hibernate again. But eventually, it's going to get above 70 and stay there, and they will be guests in my yard all spring and summer long. I can hardly wait. So, that's a creepy crawly note. That's going to be a wrap for today and this week here on the MT and Me. Thanks a lot for joining us, for watching, for your support. Remember, thumbs up below and subscribe if you haven't already. And be sure and join us each and every weekend for something else with me and Pearl right here on the MT and Me. Thank you, my nomies. Oh, and don't forget, if you need your comments and ideas about that woodwork, redoing the floor on the overhead cab area, comment below. Let me know what you're thinking about it. And be sure and join me again next week right here. Till later on, me and the ants are saying so long. Take care of yourselves. I'm Russ. We'll talk Later.